61% complete.
Yeah, we're getting through this game pretty quickly, man. We're gonna have to do some extra stuff.
Yeah.
Like quests and whatnot.
Reload your save, and there's the big slime guy.
Well, jeez.
That's a rude welcome. Welcome back, guys. I'm the Comic Foil.
I'm the Green Scorpion. I love how this episode just starts with us having to kill an enemy. Then again, we killed it in one shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can either go down or to the right. Let's go down.
Paths lead north, south, and Dennis. Okay, conveniently there's an exploding fruit right next to an explodable wall. Huh, interesting.
Oh yeah, that's right. I can do that.
Okay. Huh, that's kind of a weird puzzle thing. Alright, so... where were we? We came down here because... okay, we fought the lady, we got the water running.
Is that it?
There's another bomb. There must be a purpose for that bomb.
Well, maybe I'll figure it out over here. Yep, there we go.
Okay. And the lady said, there is a...
oh, you know what? Okay, we need that other bomb because this bomb explodes in 3 seconds. We need something that's longer lasting.
Longer bomb. Gotcha. Said that... so the lady told us, because we want to go find guys and maybe put a stop to all this war against the Moonbloods or whatever. Okay, I was afraid the one was going to blow up the other one.
There we go.
She said go to this manor and meet the person who owns the manor. We're trying to make our way through there, but we gotta go to all these smaller manors first. And there was a big haunted ghost thing that chased us.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
That thing that exists on a plane that Aura cannot reach.
And Dust also wants to do it quickly because Ginger came up here to meet us, and now we don't know where she is.
Ah.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with these sorts of screens.
Ah!
And it, like, regains all of its health every time. And it has a lot of health to regain, jeez. Yeah, careful that you don't,
there we
use
go.
up all your Dust Storm. Nice job. Just drops you into a bunch of zombies. So we are in a, Halloween-y kind of place now, which is convenient for us because they were recording this on October 27th.
Yep.
We're probably well into November by the time this episode premieres because, we have a lot of these episodes built up because we just, every time Oscar comes over, we want to play more Dust. We are very enamored with this game.
Absolutely. Oh, geez, I didn't even realize he was still alive.
He just kicked you right in the crotch. Did you see that? That was a crotch kick. That was like the wind-up, like, robot chicken style kick to the crotch. Uncool, man.
Alright, so we got a skill gem.
Fidget?
Yep.
Okay, and you can wall jump up vines now.
Mega Man style.
Well,
More like Mega Man X.
So
oh, geez.
that would be more like
Ah.
Okay, and you gotta, Steam World dig your way down and through. Yeah,
So
I'm curious about a lot of stuff. Obviously, Dust's identity is going to come into play
absolutely.
at some point, and maybe we'll know why he forgot his identity.
Speaking of which, I kind of made a semi-sort of prediction about it.
Okay.
In that, anyone who follows me knows that I've been doing Inktober.
Yeah.
And I actually did Dust and Fidget as one of them.
Okay.
But, like, in the comments I posted on my Twitter page about it, it's like, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, because the prompt was for ashes, or ash. And I was like, but from that dust, a hero may rise. And I feel that might have something to do with it. Oh, I see.
Okay. Well, keep going up and take care of the bomb. We can come back for that. I'm afraid the bomb's gonna explode without us. Or not.
Huh.
Okay, what are we supposed to do?
There's something to the right. Aha!
Yeah, because a big theme of this game is that, like, it doesn't matter who you were if you're ready to start over and be a new person. And I know that's easier for Dust to say because he can't remember who he was, but... You know, the most important thing is always what you do now.
And what I'm gonna do now is equip a new health item.
You got a lot of wall chicken there.
I do. Let's go with the wall chicken.
Mysterious wall chicken. I forgot how mysterious it was. Yeah, so our working theory right now is that Dust is one of the enforcers and friend to Gaius, the big bad general guy who's raging war against the Moonbloods.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering if we were ever going to see, like, where Fidget comes from and why Fidget was the guardian of this sword. Though people have already told me in the comments that...
Whoa!
That we shouldn't expect to see any more Nimbats. So... Like, Ossels and Lombaxes, we're not going to see very many Nimbats. We are, of course, using fire against the zombies, because when you're fighting zombies, of course, you gotta use fire. People don't use lightning against zombies.
Interestingly enough, like, I saw in the zombie survival guide that, yeah, electricity pretty much does nothing to zombies unless you do it continuously, in which they will catch fire, because flesh is still combustible.
Like if you're like Thor at the end of Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Because, you know, then that's, like, so much
Okay, lightning is going to be useful against this thing, though, because...
Oh, yeah, because he's up there. Okay, I understand him now. He summons baddies, including exploding baddies. Got a pretty nice multiplier going here. Oh, very good. Don't lose it, don't lose it.
I'm gonna let it go out.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna bank it. There we go. Yeah, I noticed that big number, and I was like, okay, yeah, I think best to bank it for now.
I wonder where we should go to try and get 1,000 hit combo.
Probably maybe, honestly, just any area with a lot of enemies and just equip that one ring.
Yeah.
The ugly ring, the ugly pendant.
Alright.
I'm really liking this music, too. As usual.
Yeah, this game has such good music.
Wow, we're finding a lot of keys. And I'm okay with this.
How many people worked on this game? I think this is another one of those cases where, like, one person did most of the work.
Alright, here's a save point. I see a flag going, over to where I'm going.
Okay, so that's our destination.
Well, let's keep going and see what we find.
And, like, you look at this and, like,
oh, no.
Somebody, like, drew all of this.
Oh, I see. Okay, so let's keep going here, and then we'll go down this time.
Which unfortunately means I think the baddies are gonna reset, but... That's okay. We're learning the map.
Yep. Whew!
Okay, that's surprising to me that it's laid out that way, because the flag makes it look like we're supposed to go that way.
Well, I think we are. It's just, like, we gotta get there a different way. Like, it's still part of the map.
Yeah, that just messes with my spatial conception.
Here we go. Okay, there's a treasure chest in here. Oh, gotta be careful.
I know you saw this because you said something to me about it on Twitter.
Yeah?
One of our subscribers, Bardox, was saying about how we should do a top 10 Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
Which I think would be really fun to do sometime. It's something we've thought about before, too, but... Yeah, especially playing this now.
Yeah, no, like, after we did the top 50 on my channel, I come to realize that, yeah, I absolutely adore Metroidvanias as as a game genre because I love the exploration, I love the combat, like a lot. Not too many Metroidvanias incorporate like
this kind of combat.
But those that do are really like really awesome to me.
It's like this and Muramasa and the
Odin
Guacamelee
Spheres
games.
Yeah, Odin Sphere, Guacamelee.
I didn't know Odin Sphere was a Metroidvania.
Well, I'm not entirely sure, but from what I hear, Odin Sphere is basically just like Muramasa, but, you know, different stories, some different mechanics, things like that. But again, I could be wrong.
Oh, neat.
I am curious to play Odin Sphere as well, I just haven't gotten around to it.
The only potential issue with doing that list is... Would it just be the same situation with, like...
Ooh, a lot of Chaldulbagi. I have no idea what that is. Master Ring of Wealth.
That must be a real thing.
Oh, it has to be. Master Ring of Wealth. Good business sense made this ring's owner very rich. +1 regen, +20 attack. 1.5 times gold drop and +8 luck. Depending, based on our Ring of the Apprentice and Ring of the Scavenger. Scavenger gives us a lot of items. Ring of the Apprentice gives us some bonus experience. I think I'm going to replace Ring of the Scavenger.
Chaldulbagi, which I'm sure I'm not pronouncing right, is a brisket cut into very thin slices and is a staple of Korean barbecue.
Huh.
So, very thin sliced brisket.
That's pretty cool.
The problem with doing a top 10 Metroidvanias, or the potential challenge, so you already did your top 50 games.
Yes.
So, like, would doing a top 10 Metroidvanias just be, like... Because, like, I think the highest Metroidvania game ranked on that was Guacamelee. So, would Guacamelee have to be your #1 Metroidvania?
Not necessarily. This has been my philosophy with being a YouTuber since the beginning.
Yeah.
There's a huge difference between what I know is my favorite, which I guess in this case is Guacamelee, and what I think is the best. And in terms of, like, Metroidvanias, I am far from thinking that Guacamelee is the best Metroidvania out there, because it clearly is not.
Though it is very, very, very good.
It is very good. I do not think it's the best Metroidvania out there. Pendant of Beauty. An artist went to great pains to detail this pendant. +1 regen, 60 attack, 40 defense, 8 luck. That's pretty good. I'm going to keep Ring of Wealth and Ring of the Apprentice, though, because the bonus experience in gold is nice.
Okay. Plus, like, Metroid Prime was up higher and went... Personally, when I'm thinking of Metroidvanias, I usually think just 2D.
Yeah, me personally, if I had to choose a Metroidvania, quote-unquote, from the Metroid series, it would be Fusion.
And...
Woo!
What about from the Castlevania series, Symphony of the Night? Or
I'm not sure, to be honest, because there's quite a few of them.
one of the, like, Sorrow games?
Yeah, we'd have to look into that, because I've played most of them. There's also the case of, like, the new spiritual successor, Bloodstained.
Yeah. I've played a lot of indie Metroidvanias lately. Of course, there's Hollow Knight, there's
Hollow Knight is I think an excellent example of a great Metroidvania. One that I think is not going to make the list, but is still a really cool example in my opinion is Momodora.
Yeah, Owlboy.
Owlboy is another one. What else we got? There's plenty of good examples.
I haven't played it yet, but Iconoclasts.
Oh yeah, Iconoclast is a Metroidvania, isn't it?
Yep. Cave Story's kind of a Metroidvania.
I'd say Cave Story is a Metroidvania, absolutely.
Yeah. The Shantae games.
A couple of the Shantae games.
Yeah, not every Shantae game.
Actually, no, yeah, you're right. They are mostly Metroidvanias.
Pirate's Curse is definitely a Metroidvania.
Absolutely. I also think that's, like, definitely up there. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is a Metroidvania.
That is a Kerbomania.
Uh-huh. That's interesting that, like, it actually, like, went into Metroidvania territory. That's, like, really interesting. If I had to pick one for Castlevania, it would probably be Symphony of the Night, but again, I don't know. Like, because
yeah, we would need to, like...
Here's the thing about Symphony of the Night. I think it's a fantastic game. Anyone who wants to get into the Castlevania series or the Metroidvania series, or franchise, or, like, genre, I think it's a great game to play. That being said, it is very dated. There are some... It's still a really great game at the end of it all, but there are still some things about the game that I feel are pretty dated by today's standards.
Yeah, I would think maybe Order of Ecclesia...
Order of Ecclesia is a good one. There's a couple of other really good ones. I have a soft spot for Portrait of Ruin.
Okay. I wouldn't say Portrait of Ruin's the best.
Portrait of Ruin's definitely not the best.
But
I personally have a soft spot for it.
Yeah.
But, Dawn of Sorrow, and actually, yeah, now that you mention it, I think Order of Ecclesia is a great example.
I feel like it's the most mechanically solid.
Not to mention, like, the main character, Shinoa, is a very interesting character.
Yeah. Summer Cruise's story is more interesting to me, but...
I do agree with that.
Yeah, Metroidvanias are cool.
Yeah, I love the genre. Like, I think part of the reason is because, like, I really like... I really like the lengths that someone can go creatively to make a Metroidvania game interesting, and it's not that hard to do. You make a vast world, you provide, like, an interesting story if you want one. But that's the thing, you don't need a very in-depth story to make a good Metroidvania.
Yeah, because Momodora doesn't have an in-depth story, it just has, like, an atmosphere.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it. It's like, if you want to make a good Metroidvania, you do not need a very compelling story.
Yeah.
Should you have a story? Probably, but it doesn't need to go in depth because the strength of Metroidvanias are in exploration, mechanics, and world building.
So what makes something a Metroidvania?
As far as I can tell, a Metroidvania... Let's stick with 2D Metroidvanias, because you can argue that there are 3D Metroidvanias.
And then you start asking questions of, like, is Banjo-Kazooie a Metroidvania? Is, like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Super Mario Sunshine a Metroidvania?
It gets into that territory, which we're not going to bother with those semantics. I would stick to just 2D Metroidvanias.
Yeah.
What makes a Metroidvania is, in my opinion, an explorable world with a map system similar to what we got here, but I personally think...
A big, interconnected series of maps.
Absolutely. Cards on the table, though, I don't like this map.
Oh, yeah?
I actually wish we had a little more detail to go on. Like, you know how some...
All the rooms do, like, look the same?
Exactly. They're just squares.
Yeah, they don't, like, it doesn't tell you much about the room you're in.
Exactly. That's my issue. That's my main issue. That's one of the issues, if I had to name an issue in this game. Yeah. That's one of my issues with...
no game is perfect, and this is one of the ways in which it's imperfect.
This is one of the complaints I do have with Dust and Elysian Tale. The map system, I feel, is a little too simplistic. Not a deal breaker, mind you. I still really, really like this game. I might as well go ahead and use this bomb while I'm at it.
You know what, though? It's important to be able to critique things that you like, and in a lot of cases, you can end up liking something more because you chose to critique it.
Actually, that's one of the beauties of being a critic. When you complain about something, when you complain about a game that you really, really like, that shows that you care because you want the game to be good. You want the series to improve. For example,
well, the opposite side of that is when you complain because you don't care, and that's like bad faith criticism.
Exactly. And that's why I'm willing to say, hey, I love Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild because I'm a huge Zelda fanatic. There are problems with the game that I would like to see improved in the sequel.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's go ahead and get into here. First I'm going to go into sell mode, X, and sell some items here that
we must have new ones.
Oh, we have to. Like, we're fighting a bunch of zombies. Come on.
Ooh.
We only have one, actually. Lost Soul. Alright. Let's go ahead and sell that. Is that it, actually? Wow.
I think we did sell some of the items from this area already.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We got a lot of healing items we can get, but I think we're plenty stocked on the wall chicken, especially because there's a lot of breakable walls here. You did mention don't buy, just sell. Or just,
don't buy equipment, craft equipment.
Yeah, craft equipment. So we're going to go ahead and stick with that, then. I am going to take the time to buy these 3 keys, though. We have plenty of gold to do it.
Okay.
Let's see. Revival Stone, Teleport Stone. How many Teleport Stones? We have none.
We have 0.
We have 4 When did we get 4 Revival Stones?
Oh, man, we're just stacking them, man.
When did that happen?
We're like Zillion with the Guardian Angel. We just keep getting back up.
I'm okay with this. Okay, there still seems to be a treasure chest here, though. Might it be in this cave? Or... Let's see. Nanoth Mansion.
Nanoth? But I think what makes it a Metroidvania is the idea that you got a big interconnected map. Oh no, it's a ghost. Pretty spooky. And the idea that you're collecting power-ups or new ways of progressing that let you get past different obstacles that are spread across the map.
Yeah,
it usually entails a lot of backtracking or new areas opening up as your pool of abilities expands.
Yeah, one of the beauties of Metroidvania, of the Metroidvania series that like makes a lot of people feel really good is new abilities that not only give you new ways to like defeat your enemies, but also new ways to traverse the map, so to speak.
Oh, that reminds me of another one. Ori and the Blind Forest.
Absolutely Ori and the Blind Forest.
The coolest thing about that one is that every new power you get is also a movement option. So by the end of it, you feel so, like, zippy and free.
Absolutely. No, that is an excellent example. That's actually one of the things I really, really liked about Hollow Knight, is because things like the wall jump, or things like the double jump and things like that, or the air dash, are so quintessential in Metroidvanias, but it's treated like a big deal. Like, hey, you got this. Go nuts. Explore. Hey, dudes, look for stuff.
If you haven't done it already, put your favorite Metroidvanias in the comments.
Absolutely.
Make sure we're not forgetting anything.
Yeah, that'll give us something to like really look into as well. But yeah, like a series of interconnected maps, the ability to explore multiple areas, like however you'd like. Whoa!
You know, usually secrets around the map are important. Backtracking is just kind of part of the formula.
Oh, absolutely. If you're playing a Metroidvania and you don't want to deal with backtracking, what are you doing? Is this like a safe zone?
Try doing stuff to the wall there. It seems not right.
It might be just a safe
zone. I don't like the look of this.
Alright, I'm gonna go back out, and I'm gonna see if I can find something else. I saw a wall that I could break. What the? Oh, frick.
Oh, we're being spooky, aren't we?
What is going on here?
Oh, game.
Servant's Note 4. When Master Kane left his office this morning, I snuck in to clean up his mess. It's my job, after all. But then I saw his desk covered in papers, emblazoned with names. So many names. I could see the names of our neighbors, the ones who had been taken away. And then at the very bottom of the list, my own name. I think I could be in terrible danger, but I... Oh.
Oh, you got us, game.
Personal diary. A leather-bound diary worn from heavy use. I'm going to assume that's the item that we need to grab here.
Yeah. It's
okay. That was a little spooky. That was a little spooky.
I love stuff like that. See, like, you don't need to be straight up Silent Hill to just kind of put a like horror-themed atmosphere in something.
I mean, hey, we're also playing through Luigi's Mansion.
Yeah.
And we've expressed that we do think Luigi's Mansion is totally viable for the role of a horror game.
Yeah,
just a very low-key
children's horror game.
Yeah, very much so.
It is
going for max health.
It is a horror-themed adventure puzzle game. Action-adventure puzzle game.
Mm-hmm.
Man, what even is genre anymore, though?
Well, nowadays, like, yeah, the genre can basically be interpreted as, like, however you'd like, and you can do whatever you'd like with it at this point. But it does still serve to give us a format so that we can know what we would like to do with our games, or, like, our mediums, as it were.
Yeah. A lot of the most interesting games to me are ones that, like, combine different genres now. That's, like, what a lot of indie games are doing.
Hi, Brutal Legend.
Yeah, Brutal Legend, Indivisible, which just came out.
Master Ring of the Artisan. The craftsman who wore this ring seemed to be a master of new talents on a daily basis. +2 regen, +20 attack, times 1.2 experience bonus, and 10 luck. That's better than the one we have now.
Oh, I want that.
Yeah, I'm making it. We got plenty of materials for it. Alright. Thank you, Haley. Master Ring of the Artisan, Master Ring of Wealth. Yeah, perfect. Awesome.
Oh, we're gonna be rolling in dough and experience now.
Amen to that. That's why I really like making that. Plague Oil. A terrible plague laced in this liquid. 220 attack!
That's 100 damage boost.
And times 1.4 for Fidget. What else we got here? We have the Massive Augment, which is better than anything we've got. Oh, we also had the Flesh Sheath, which we didn't make. But, yeah, I like the Plague Oil. What do we need for it? We have the materials!
Do it. Do it now.
Do it. Get him.
Maybe we should have played this game on hard.
Maybe, but you know what? I'm having fun. I'm having fun one way or another. Hey, Dust. There was this big giant in the field. What did you do? I slew it. Ow.
He just got blown up. Blew it.
Oh, okay. You need stamina to roll.
Oh, okay. I didn't even realize stamina took up that bar.
I didn't either.
That's a good balancing thing, because it really wouldn't bother you unless you're spamming rolls.
Mm-hmm. That's actually one of the things I like about Bayonetta, because Bayonetta actually punishes you for damage for rolling around too much. By virtue of the fact that Bayonetta is forced to do this like really sexy pose at the end of like 5 dashes.
Girls gotta work it.
Yeah? No, like, I made a joke about this a little while ago, but if you were to make Bayonetta a D&D character, she would totally be a hybrid of a bard and a slayer.
Yeah, and oddly enough, not a witch. At least not a.
Are you being sarcastic, or are you actually being serious here?
Well, because witch is a class in Pathfinder.
Yeah, but like the only real witch thing,
stuff.
She does the wicked weaves, but like
the way
you can do that with like summoning powers.
Yeah, the way a witch is defined in Pathfinder, Bayonetta is not one.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, like in a lore perspective, she would be a witch, but that's just not her class. Yeah, I like it. What'd you say, Slayer Bard?
Slayer Bard, yeah.
With a performance dance?
I guess. She is a good dancer.
Man, Bayonetta's good at everything. I love Bayonetta.
She's a great character.
There's a lot of, argument... I see this on Twitter every day, of arguments for and against, like, sexualizing women in art and in anime and stuff like that, and... arguments about objectification versus censorship and lack of creative freedom,
right? And
yada yada. And it's a complicated issue, and I don't fall fully on one side or the other. But I think Bayonetta's done really well.
I like the whole like objectification and sexualization of characters and whatnot. Well, for one, I don't think it necessarily should be limited to just girls. Like I know like that's usually what you think of when you hear like sexualizing a character, but there are plenty of examples of guys being sexualized in media as well. Not as often maybe, but it's still a thing. And for me personally, I am totally okay with sexualization of characters and whatnot, as long as there's a purpose to it. As long as like there is a very good reason, like don't create a character to be sexy just for the sake of them being sexy. Like, what was that one character from Danganronpa?
Are you talking about Mikon?
The one nurse character.
Yeah, Mikon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she bothered me.
Yeah, that's a bad example. That's an example of how not to do it. I'm eating some wall chicken.
There's a bit of a twist to her that makes her a little more interesting, but to me that, like, doesn't really justify it. It's just, like, all, like, helpless character in situations. Like, they're purely for the titillation of the audience.
Exactly. Whereas Bayonetta, the reason we bring up Bayonetta in conversations like that regarding that is because she is, like, one of the best examples of doing it properly. Like, yeah, she's sexy, she's, like, not afraid to flaunt it, but that's the whole thing. She's so confident in herself as a, like, not only as a witch, but also, like, as a character, and it's basically her way of saying, yeah, I'm strong, I'm powerful, what the hell are you gonna do about it? Come at me.
Yeah, So this is a really complicated issue, and we're simplifying it because we don't have time for a whole dissertation on this.
Oh no, this conversation can go on for a very long time.
But I think one of the biggest defining features for Bayonetta is that the character has agency, and that's what that's what skirts the line between objectification and empowerment. Is that Bayonetta wants to be this way?
Yeah, and I think
it's a choice, and she's empowered by that choice.
Yeah, I think that's the main word that I think is the proper term for it. It's agency.
Yeah,
because like what that really is what it boils down to. Like, does the character gain gain his or her own agency through this character trait? And if yes, then great. If not,
Poison.
Oh yeah, that's right. I need to take not here. Or is it there?
The wall chicken.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mushrooms. There we go. Thank you.
And I mean, you know, there's a counter-argument to that, too, because you're saying, like, okay, well, that's empowering because she can choose to be like that and she's big and sexy. Does that mean people who aren't, like, proportioned to be, like, tall and sexy and awesome, like, aren't as, you know, powerful? They're not empowered? Well, like, no. Of course not. No. It's Bayonetta's choice, and that's not the only way to empower oneself.
Yeah.
But it's what works for her. There's a lot of different kinds of people that find empowerment in different ways.
Like, hey, one of the best examples of a character being empowered and not being sexy, at least not initially, Samus Aran.
Yeah.
No one, like so many people did not know and were completely shocked. I have no idea where the hell I'm going.
I rarely feel like Samus is specifically, like, doing something just for the sake of being sexy.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
I mean, you can make some Zero Suit arguments, but I don't
The thing is, like, the Zero Suit, for all intents and purposes, is just a practical part of her, like, of her attire. Like, it just happens to look really, really good on her. But she's not being sexy about it. She's not flaunting it or anything. She's just being what she knows she is, a bounty hunter. And that's all it is.
I don't know why her shoes in the Zero Suit Samus have to be, like, pumps. But,
I mean...
okay, fine, they're rocket shoes. Maybe that's just the way they're shaped. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I will admit that.
Like, there's a little bit there, but I mean, the character... I feel like the character works.
I find it a little more believable than Devora, who is, like, this... amalgamation of bugs turned into a sentient platform, has heels for some reason.
Yeah, so you take over, a bunch of bugs make a hive shaped like a human body. Why does it need to be half naked, and why does it have heels? What is the, why would Devora want that?
It makes no sense.
I mean, maybe she just likes heels. I don't know. That's your choice.
I mean, if she does, great. But like, give us a little context. Why don't you?
I feel like it's harder to fight when you're wearing heels. So if you're gonna make that choice, be certain about it.
Nina would like a word with you. But then again, that's a good example of like, hey, here's a good reason. Like, Nina from the Tekken series is an assassin and she fights with heels, but she fights with heels knowing that they're gonna freaking hurt. Like, that's actually expressed.
Yeah. Then you got things of, like, where it's just, like, style, like One Piece has kind of exaggerated proportions for everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Including pretty much all the women being, like, you take, like, a Barbie doll and grab its head and feet and stretch it vertically. And that's what women in One Piece are shaped like. I wish there was, like, a little bit more variety in that, but I mean, I also understand that that's the artist's style, so I don't know. You gotta take that by a case-by-case basis, I guess.
Oh, man. You want to know what? Like, I'm gonna flip this...
You gotta level up.
Yes. I'm gonna flip the script a little bit, actually. Are you familiar with a certain, Marvel artist who, is not very well liked by,
I know who you're talking about.
By, Stan Lee, may his soul rest in peace, who tends to draw his characters in the most ridiculous fashion possible. You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Oh my god, why can't I think of the name off the top of my head?
I can't remember it either.
Liefeld, Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, Rob Liefeld, that's it. Like, wow, dude.
Rob Liefeld cannot draw. That's not true, that's overly harsh, but like, a lot of his pictures are so like, what? He doesn't like drawing feet. He will do anything to hide his character's
he has
feet.
like one of the worst depictions of Captain America I've ever seen.
I know the one you're talking about.
You know exactly the one I'm talking about.
Where his
man,
where his like pecs are a mile from his face.
Like, wow, dude. Like, proportions, man.
And I'll hand one thing to Rob Liefeld. He's gotten a lot more, kind of self-aware over the years now. Like, some of his more recent stuff is kind of like, yeah, I know this is my style, and I'm really just, like, having fun.
I mean, if you own it, great, but there was a point in time where he was just, like, he was not owning it at all.
Now, some people could say, like, okay, if you draw a woman, like, bending a weird way, like, women can't really bend like that. Like, so what if it's unrealistic? What's the harm in that? And I mean, I think there is harm in that, because... You know...
Oh, man, dude, Misfortune in League of Legends, her art, like, her splash art just, like, has her backbended in the most uncomfortable looking position.
It's not because I'm afraid girls are going to try and imitate those poses and break their spines. I don't think that's going to happen. But culture affects media, and media affects culture. Not to the point where, like, everybody who plays video games goes on a shooting spree. Not that kind of bullcrap that people make up. But that... You know, by making these female characters, you are adding to a cultural zeitgeist of what people see women as. And too much of that does kind of create a trend and a feeling among the zeitgeist.
I completely agree.
So I'm not saying
it's another one of these!
I'm not saying nobody should draw sexualized women. I'm just saying when that's all there is in the media, it creates unrealistic expectations of women for both other women to be like and for men who like women to expect.
I completely agree.
And that can cause problems societally. And I'm not trying to blame every artist for the problems of our culture. I'm just saying there is a correlation.
I completely agree.
Not
Again,
necessarily a causation. It's a complicated issue.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's all about empowerment through agency. It's just a matter of what that agency is and what purpose it serves. And that, I feel, should be universal throughout all media, and not just, like, with, like, the whole, like, you know, the over-sexualization or objectification of characters or anything, but in all aspects. Like, why is this character, like, why is this character this selfish, blowhard? Why is this character, you know, a complete coward?
Yeah.
There's gotta be purpose, you know what I mean? Anyway, we went on a tangent. Let's check this out.
Yeah, look...
Hello? I can't check
Okay, it's not interactable, but it was definitely there for us to see.
Absolutely.
A single rose on a grave.
Man, dude, we get impassioned when we talk about serious topics like that, don't we?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a serious topic, but at the same time, we're talking about it in such a way that, like, you know, at the very least, we're not, like, saying, oh, this is something that we stand for and we will hate you if you don't.
There was a comic in the 70s and 80s called New Mutants. It was a spin-off from the X-Men. It was about younger students at the Xavier Mansion. People like Cannonball and Sunspot and Wolfsbane.
Yeah, I think I recall seeing something about this, yeah.
It was the first major spin-off from the X-Men. And one of the main artists known for that series is Louise Simonson.
Mm-hmm.
And she was really good at drawing these teenage characters without sexualizing them. Because, like, I know things can be different in Japan, but here in Western civilization, please don't sexualize teenage characters.
Yeah, seriously, though.
But also, you know, it was a book about teenage characters, and teenage characters have hormones, and there's, you know, a love dodecahedron between the characters, and characters were attracted to each other. And the way they were drawn, you understood that, like, Sam Guthrie was really attractive to...
Sad way to go.
Rain Sinclair. You understood that they had crushes on each other and stuff like that, without it necessarily sexualizing it for the reader.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very thoughtful way in which it drew its character, that it could do these love dodecahedrons and stuff, and present characters, you know, who are very fit and healthy and by all means attractive, without it being objectification for the sake of the audience.
Absolutely.
So the saddest thing about Rob Liefeld is that in the 90s, the New Mutants book, first, the New Mutants basically left the Xavier Mansion and started following Cable. Cable showed up, and Cable became their new leader, and that book eventually changed from the New Mutants to the X-Force. And most of the New Mutants cast, like, went their separate ways, and Cable stayed there in the book. And the X-Force became this super machismo thing drawn by Rob Liefeld. So that's kind of the biggest injustice of it all to me, was that not just that Rob Liefeld came in with his style, you know, love it or hate it, I am not a fan, but that it replaced New Mutants, which was this very well-done book, especially for that kind of representation of people through art kind of thing. And then that got replaced with, like, the way Rob Liefeld draws Domino. I'm sorry, that was a really bad rant.
No, please go on, dude, because the thing is, like, you are not saying anything that not a lot of other people have said about the style change, especially with the X-Force, because, like, there are fans of the X-Force nowadays, but its beginnings were racked with controversy.
Yeah. Oh, and let me just say another thing now, for you guys in the comments who maybe feel attacked for liking some of these things, even if you admit something has problematic elements to it, the fact that you are a fan of it does not make you a bad person.
Absolutely not.
Like, if you like Mikon from Danganronpa or whatever, if you think that's a funny character, I am not saying you are a sexist. I'm saying there are problematic elements to that character.
Alright, now then. We went over, dude.
Yeah, that was a 40-minute rant. That was a little bit more political than I meant things to be.
Well, I wouldn't even call it political. It's a very important conversation in regards to just, like, you know, how people should, like, how people interpret art. And again, there's no wrong way to interpret art, but at the same time, there kind of is.
It's a complicated issue with a lot of sides to it, so let's all be respectful of each other and not, like, jump down each other's throats too quickly.
Absolutely.
And happy Inktober.
Meanwhile, I'm setting you up for some really, really awesome stuff later, dude, because goodness gracious, I leveled up like crazy this episode.
Oh, yeah. Dang, man.
Alright then, so, let's say we ended off here. The next area is going to feature the finale of this area, so I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Alright, I'm Comic Foil.
I'm the Green Scorpion.
And, next time, there's so many bugs here. I love how they only gather around you when you're stationary.
Why am I suddenly reminded of the freaking courtyard? At least we don't have the buzzing.
Yeah, this does transition nicely to episodes of Darkest Dungeon that are probably coming out around this time.
Well, there you go.
All right, happy trails, folks.
I love the conversations we have, by the way.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're interesting.